We're sort of reeling at the moment because we've just already tried one of these chips for about... Insane.
We looked at each other and I thought, yeah, it is definitely the best chip I've ever had in my life. Yeah.
That's so good to hear.
But for far, when the first potato was presented to Queen Elizabeth I in 1585, it was pretty fancy pants.
Yeah, 500 years later, the common spud is returning to its posh roots and is having a Michelin star moment again.
Queen of the potato, TikTok star Poppy O'Toole is here to help you serve your own upmarket spud. Good morning, Poppy.
Common? Common? Who wrote that? Who wrote common? It's humble.
We'll have them hung, drawn and quartered.
Yes, exactly. No, yes, I've been shouting about potatoes for 4 years now on the internet and how amazing they are. So I'm going to show you a few ways to do the things that we know at home, but put some extra stuff in it and make it even more delicious than it is every day. So we are going to do some lemon roasted potatoes, which is like a Greek dish, but they're blooming lovely. So I've got some Maris Pipers. I like to cut them into like, was that 1.5 centimetre rounds?
Yeah.
Good surface area for crisping in the oven. That's what we like to do.
Nice.
So once they're all cut up, you parboil them, salted water, until they kind of have this white kind of edge.
Yeah.
That means that they're nice and fluffy and starchy. Then I've got some hot oil in the oven. They go into the hot oil in the oven, half an hour at 180 degrees Celsius.
Classic, always.
And then...
180. Just never lets you down.
Just there. 180 fan, everything is my life. And
Poppy,
then...
can I ask a couple of questions?
Go on then, go.
Parboiling, what's your optimum time to parboil?
I'm like 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15,
quite a while.
And is that over a low heat?
No, well, it's like simmering more than anything.
And second question, should you put potatoes in before the water gets hot?
Yes, always cold to hot with anything grown from the ground.
Lovely. Now,
this is my little potion here. So we've got chicken stock or vegetable stock. We've got some semolina for crispiness, some oregano, some lovely, I was going to say ginger, but it's garlic, and some lemon juice. Now, you mix that all together. You pour this on halfway through. Semolina makes it crispy. The chicken stock goes lovely and tacky.
So it doesn't make it wet?
No, because then we ramp up the temperature to 200 degrees Celsius.
Oh,
and then for another half an hour.
Well, what's 180 going to say about
We changed it
He's
up.
not going to be happy.
So, there you have these delicious beauties. Now, I've made a really simple kind of blended feta oil, bit of lemon, pepper, salt. And now, because, you know, we're saying, like, they're trendy, they're in the restaurants, people are appreciating them more. We're going to just plate it up like we're like professional chefs.
So all that is blended feta, oil and salt?
Yeah, a bit of pepper, bit of lemon juice, and if it sometimes, because it's quite textured, you can add a little bit of yoghurt in there to help it smooth out a little bit if you want to.
It's a lovely roast to go with a sort of more summery roast, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
you do a bit of like...
more Mediterranean sort of chicken.
A bit of lemon on the chicken, a little bit of fish as well, goes really well.
Do you know I always sprinkle an OXO cube on my roast potatoes?
That is such a good way to do it.
Oh, they're lovely.
When should you sprinkle the cube?
I do it right at the beginning, but I don't. Now I've seen that, I don't know if I'm doing it right.
When you put them in, do you put the cube over?
Yeah,
how you do it?
Got oil, put oil over, and then I go with the OXO cubes. But I don't use any salt. Just the OXO cubes as the salt.
Yeah, you don't need much more salt when you've got the stock cube on there. Next. What I'm going to show you, jacket potatoes, massive at the minute. So we've just got our potatoes. I'm using Maris Piper for these as well. You can use baking potatoes, and they have been in the oven about 180 degrees to 200 degrees for about 45 to 50 minutes.
These Maris Piper as well?
Yes, yes.
Would Maris Piper be your 100%? If you had to go somewhere, you'd go Maris Piper?
Yeah, it's always Maris Piper. Then what I do is cut them into like 6, so you get this little star shape. Now I'm going to fill it with cream cheese, parsley, garlic, butter, and then you put it back into the oven. And you
back into the oven
for about 10 minutes or so. You whack it up to about 210 degrees. Like, we get it super hot, so it gets super crispy. Anyway, imagine I've done that very delicately and very beautifully.
Yeah.
We pour over some lovely butter, and then we get that back.
Oh, lovely.
Into the oven. Again, roasting off, roasty, toasty, delicious.
I find that people that don't like the skins, weird.
The skin of a jacket potato is one of the best bits of it.
Oh, the best.
And then you have these star-crossed...
Oh, look at that.
Star-crossed lovers.
Yeah, star-crossed lover jacket potato.
Oh.
And you can fill it with anything you want. You could use feta, you could use cream cheese with different fillings.
We'd always put it back in the oven for it?
Always put it back in the oven to re-roast again.
Oh, wow.
It's just the garlickiest, It's like garlic bread, but chips. I mean, jacket potato.
Yeah.
So underrated, the jacket potato, isn't it?
100%.
They're having a full-on renaissance at the minute. People are going wild for them.
You know, it takes quite a long time to cook them.
Yes.
Is there a cheats way around that doesn't involve a microwave?
Well, air fryer, always good. A bit less, but I also do throw it into the microwave when I do it in the air fryer because I just find you might as well. But I like them in the oven the whole time.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
it's just, if you've got time and you can just leave it, it's fine.
So how long would that take in the oven to cook?
That's about 50 minutes to an hour.
OK, not too bad.
When you order a jacket potato when you're out and then you know that it's been microwaved and you're like, oh.
Forget it.
Yeah, exactly. You want it to be proper done when you're out. Chips.
Do you, just to
Yes, go.
Do you use with foil or without when it comes to
No
chicken?
foil, straight onto the rack. Just with oil and salt on. Just fork it a few times and then that's it.
Lovely.
So, chips. Everyone loves a chip. I like a chunky chip.
Oh, yeah.
Big chunkers. So I've got, for these ones, we're using the rooster or red skin potatoes, Desiree potatoes. They hold their structure a little bit better. So what I've done is I've already parboiled these. Then I put them onto a rack to cool, because if you put them into drain in a colander, sometimes they break up a bit too much. Put them onto
You
a rack.
chop them like that before you parboil them?
Peel them, chop them, parboil them, get them onto a rack. Then I've already fried these once in some beef fat at 130 degrees. Then they go back into beef fat. It was about 180, but since we've been chatting, it's turned down. And they go super crispy and delicious. But the beef fat just gives it such a gorgeous flavour. And it's like traditional, old school fish and chip shops that used to fry them. Extra salt on there. And then you have these gorgeous golden, crispy...
So when you do it 3 times, 3 times is the parboiling.
Parboiling.
And it's the twice cooked in...
Yes, so you call it like blanching is the first cook in a lower temperature. So you blanch them in hot, well, 130 degree fat and then into your 180 degree fat. And then that's how you get that golden, beautiful texture, soft in the middle, crunchy on the outside, and just how a chip
They look
should
perfect
be.
as well, don't they?
Are you a mayo or a ketchup for a chip?
Sometimes I go a bit of both.
Sometimes I go...
I'm a double dipper.
I love a double dipper. I think you've got to do it. That's a bit like a Mary Rose sauce now, isn't it?
No one can ever say the words double dipper now better than that. That was the best... You don't even need anything with it.
That is the most gorgeous chip I've ever had in my whole existence.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
you just made yourself very popular.
Yes,
in
I've
this
been told that
vicinity.
more have been made so that everyone can have some. So thank you to the food
right
team.
answer.
Yeah.
That's how much you're loved around here. Thanks, Poppy. For details of today's recipe, check out the Free This Morning app.